go to work, somebody asked you about somebody else,
Right.
So, I mean, we've had times here where if somebody asked you about something else at work, you'd be like, it's not really any of my business. I just come in and do my thing. And I do think when people start to kind of understand that, I get the media plays a much more vital role than players and coaches and even fans give it credit. We promote the teams. We also give kind of storylines and reason to be interested in the teams. And that was an interesting thing. But I actually understand why Ben Roethlisberger, who last year was working through a new offensive coordinator, remember that was last year, new offensive coordinator, didn't know when he was going to get his running back back.
Right.
And, they felt like he had that terrible performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which cost them the end of that season. Remember that. And now this year, it's like, hey, nobody's saying that. It's just about football. They know the offense. They know who their running back's going to be. Know who their wide receiver's going to be. They kind of bought back into the culture, reinvested in what makes Pittsburgh special. I kind of get why they might not be as good, but it'll be more enjoyable. There's a lot of similarities there to what David Griffin was talking about.
And he's said he's going to talk less, which is good, but I think he's still going to get his shots. I don't think he can help himself from taking a little jab.
No, that's who he is.
That one's not that bad.
That's who he is.
Let's stay in the AFC North. Coach John Harbaugh, Ravens coach John Harbaugh, recently said Lamar Jackson will run as much as he did last year, if not more. There was a number thrown out how many carries. He said take the over. Jackson set the NFL single-season record last year for rushing attempts by a quarterback with 147.
And he didn't start until halfway through the season.
But it sounds like Lamar doesn't really see things the same way. He said on the Rich Eisen show yesterday that he doesn't expect to carry the ball as much. Take a listen.
I've been throwing a lot, way more than, running. So I don't think I'll be running, as much as I did last year. There was a lot of RPOs, a lot of sudden changes in last year's games and stuff like that. So this is going to be totally different.
Probably not a great sign that the head coach and quarterback aren't quite on the same page. Could I make the argument that Lamar probably sees himself as a better thrower than maybe a coach would? He's probably a little more self-confident about his throwing ability. So maybe that John Harbaugh knows that they can't really win with him throwing as much and they need to run, whereas Lamar Jackson thinks, no, I can throw and we can do it this way.
Well, and in practice, what's the point of running him a bunch because nobody can touch the quarterback?
Right.
So you're better off letting him throw more. Lamar's not wrong. We are throwing more in practice, but once you get to the game, we're probably going to run you a little bit more. I would also tell you that some of it may be the old okey doke. We're trying to bring you up into the box. They went out and got Hollywood Brown for a reason, right? To stretch the defense. And Lamar he can throw a good ball downfield. His problem is accuracy and processing, reading defenses. And it felt like the Chargers in the playoffs really exposed his lack of accuracy. And, and that team last year was constructed completely differently because their defense was so dynamic that you could have, you could shorten the game and play to your defense and run the football, and you'd be fine because your defense would keep you in it. They changed. Eric Weddle's gone. They bring in Earl Thomas. How much does he have left in the tank? How does he fit? And of course, their defensive front's different. So I don't care what anybody says. I don't think he's a great thrower long term. I don't think he evolves the quarterback position. But I also am not going to take either's word for it because I don't think Lamar sees that you can't run in a bunch of practice, doesn't do any good. And I don't believe John Harbaugh. I don't believe anything these coaches say about what they're going to do. It's what they actually do that I believe.
If they need to win a game and throwing it's not working, he's going to run.
Sure.
I mean, that's what he's always going to fall back on. And finally, the agent for Chargers running back Melvin Gordon told ESPN's Josina Anderson that he has requested a trade after the team has not changed their initial offer of about $10 million per year for the running back who is holding out. Chargers GM Tom Telesco told Gordon's camp they do not have permission to seek out a trade partner. The Zeke holdout is somewhat overshadowed Gordon's. To most people, maybe not to you. You are probably the only Chargers fan I know.
Ever.
Yeah, I think so. Do you think Gordon gets a deal, or will they have to trade him, or neither?
I think he's going to show up and play out his deal. That'd be my guess. The offer was made a couple weeks ago, and then 3-4 weeks ago, and then a week and a half ago, it kind of got leaked out by his camp that he's gonna hold out, and that he felt like it was disrespectful. But Telesco's doing them a favor. Because if he said, go ahead, go find a team, go find a deal. You don't just have to have somebody who accurately compensates the Chargers. You got to find somebody who's going to appropriately, by Melvin Gordon's idea, going to compensate Melvin Gordon. You can give him $13, $14 million
It lowers the asking price. I'm not going to give up a top pick and pay him, right?
Either.
Right.
Not both. No one's going to do either. No one's going to do either. And that's John Goulet with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Yeah, I'm also an Angel fan, too. Like, I'm that guy, right? I actually have friends that are Angel fans, or people that go to Angel games and wear Angel gear, but, like, I'm actually both.
When I get asked back home, are there any Angels fans around? I go, I know one.
Yeah. That's me. I'm that guy. Hey, let's bring him in. Rose Lavelle and Sam Lewis, of course, are two stud members of the U.S. women's national team. And they're holding the World Cup trophy. This may sound silly because I know it actually mirrors, I believe, the men's World Cup trophy, but the Stanley Cup is actually a cup. Why isn't the World Cup a cup?
I don't have an answer for you on that one.
I mean, listen, who wouldn't want to party with a cup instead of party with a trophy, even though you guys did? You guys went hard, like surprisingly hard, I think, to many people after winning the World Cup.
Yeah, it was a little surprising to me, too. I didn't expect myself to rally that much, but it only happens once every 4 years.
Did you party so hard that Jill Ellis had to retire? You partied her into retirement.
I don't know about that, but we did party a lot. I was throwing out chest bumps. I chest bumped Megan Rapinoe so hard I broke her sunglasses. So we've been dealing with the financial situation of that, about me paying her back for those.
What kind of sunglasses?
Expensive ones.
You're like, wait, they cost how much? Yeah, they cost like $300. Like, they cost how much? Man, and you know what happens with sunglasses is the freebies, you never lose. The expensive ones that you buy, you always lose, or you always drop. Those are the ones you drop or you crack, right? That's
or you chest bump.
Or you chest bump. Jill did announce her retirement. What has made her such a special coach for the U.S. Women's National Team?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's done so much for this team, and as much as she's done for the team, I feel like she's done so much for the future of this program and federation, and I feel like I have grown so much as a player over the past 3 years because of her. So I am like selfishly sad to see her go, but I'm really happy she's going out on top and gets to spend some time with her family now.
You guys, look, it's completely different than the men's team from this perspective. You guys are expected to win, right? Like, it's like, hey, don't come home unless you bring home the hardware. And this is second consecutive time you're able to do so. What was it like to prepare and play with those expectations?
It's a huge honor. I mean, neither of us was on the team in 2015, so we came into this in the cycle, and we knew that there were high expectations going into the tournament. But being surrounded by a lot of experienced players who were there in 15 and who have really been around the block and done so much with this team, it gave us so much confidence, I think, to just see them out on the field there with us.
Was there is there a secret sauce? Because it did feel like you guys. Megan brings on so much attention to herself and to the team, but you guys fed off of it and played better because of it, which so many times great athletes look, that's a lot. And to challenge world leaders, to challenge the rest of the world, and to, stare conventional wisdom in the face and go hey, bring it on, and then perform as well or better. What's the secret sauce to the ability for your team to deliver?
I don't know. I feel like the mentality of this team is just something so special, and it's hard to explain unless you've experienced it. I think we even say, even in the England game, when it was the 80th minute and we get a PK called on us, everyone was just like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. If they score, we still have 10 minutes to score again. And I feel like that was just the mentality of us the whole tournament, was that whatever happens, we're prepared for whatever's thrown at us. Okay, so here's my issue with the Thailand deal. It wasn't that you guys were celebrating too hard with every goal. It was that at 12, you set the record, right? It was 12-0, you set the record, and it was done. Was there ever a thought of hey, let's just bring it out and run it out instead of 13? Because I don't necessarily understand I understand a little bit of the criticism of celebrating, you're supposed to have fun, but the 13th goal felt like adding one on. From basketball analogy, it's like pressing when you're up 30. Did you need to?
like I understand ultimately ends up, winning the biggest matches, but you guys did receive some critique for the 13 goals against a Thailand team as their first time there. Was it too much in hindsight?
No. I think in a World Cup, goal differential matters, and we don't know how any of the other games are going to play out.
But there had never been a game ever in the history of the Women's World Cup where any World Cup where it had been more than 11-0. Like it's like 12-0.
We didn't even know that. We don't pay attention to records.
No one said that.
No, we had no idea. I think we were just playing the best we could, and I think we ended up winning. And ultimately, still talking about it is pretty funny to us because we really weren't thinking about it. We didn't really listen to much of the criticism. I think we just did our job and we did what we had to do.
All right, how's it work with the trophy? Did each one of you guys get a day with it, a week with it? Who travels with it? How does it work?
The team keeps it. We haven't had a day with it, but when we do see it, everybody takes pictures with it. It's always fun to bring it back around. But no, we don't do the take it home thing.
Maybe we should.
Huh? You should?
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
I mean, I why not? Right? Now's your moment. Look into the camera. I want my moment with the trophy. Your most memorable. You close your eyes 30 years from now. You're surrounded by family and friends. Your first World Cup, 2015, in France. What's your most poignant memory?
I don't know. I mean, I guess probably when the whistle blew and everyone was running on the field and we got to hug each other and celebrate. Probably that moment.
What's your moment?
I think seeing my family in the stands after, and just seeing them and the joy that we got to share being there together, I think I'll remember that.
It's a huge stadium. I felt like the France game was a zoo. Was kind of amazing. Was that what was the best of the atmospheres? Because maybe it was how it was sold on television because you're playing, in their place. What was that like?
The France game was crazy. The crowd was so into it. It was unbelievable, but I think that being in Lyon and kind of everyone knowing that's where the final was going to be, the crowd was just electric. And I think we had so many of our own fans there that it felt like a home game for us. So I would say the final in Lyon, the crowd was unbelievable.
Well, I mean, you guys, it's one thing to talk it, it's another thing to walk it. And you guys, it was amazing to watch. Amazing to watch. I'm sure it was incredible to experience. Rose and Sam, thanks so much for joining us. I know you got an entire day showing off that trophy around our Fox campus. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 2 World Cup champions, members of the U.S. women's national team. Jon Gruden might not be as clueless as some may lead you to believe. We'll get to